Alrighty, folks, I am back. I am back. Gotta go get me the book, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. I've. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Best principle. We find ourselves in chapter 6. Principle 6. Use the law of attraction. What you radiate outward in your thoughts, feelings, mental pictures, and words, you attract into your life. Catherine Ponder, author of The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. One of the most powerful forces in the universe surrounds us, affects us, and can be used to positively impact our future. Like gravity, not something we could turn on and off. It just is. Like gravity, we could choose to fight it, complain about it, or harness its tremendous benefits, just as successful people do. I'm talking about the law of attraction. For centuries, most people didn't know it existed until 2006, a documentary movie and book called The Secret was released that featured me and many of my colleagues as teachers of this powerful law. I've consciously used the law of attraction to create personal success and business milestones throughout my life. And interestingly, the key practices for harnessing its power are many of the same principles and practices you're reading about in the success principles. Behaviors like taking 100% responsibility for the outcomes in your life, believing it's possible, visualizing your desired results, creating a vision board, repeating affirmations, acting as if, maintaining a positive expectancy, practicing forgiveness, meditating, practicing uncommon appreciation, and developing a positive money consciousness. Since the secret and the law of attraction have become so much of a part of our culture, let's take a few moments to discover what it is, how it works, and, most importantly, how you can use it to create the life and results you want. Stated in its most basic form, the law of attraction says what you think about, talk about, believe strongly about, and feel intensely about, you will bring about. Throughout history, the greatest minds and spiritual teachers have been pointing us to this truth. Consider the following. What things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, ye shall have them. Mark 11:24, King James Version of the Bible. All that we are is a result of what we have thought. Buddha. A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. Gandhi. The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. Winston Churchill. Become what we think about all day long. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. These great thinkers knew the power that our thoughts have over our lives, from impacting what we have to creating everything we experience, even to determining our place in the world. How can mere thoughts control so many aspects of our life? Because our thoughts are made up of energy, they can impact our physical world. Today, scientists know that everything found in the universe is made up of energy. This goes for both physical and non-physical objects. Of course, basic chemistry tells us that a physical object, such as a building, tree, or this book, is made up of billions of individual atoms, little energy bundles that interact and bond with other atoms into many forms, including water, metals, plants, soil, plastics, wood pulp, and other raw materials used to manufacture physical objects. Non physical things, including thoughts, are also made up of energy and, as such, can also bond and interact with aspects and objects of our physical world. Well known, for instance, that our brain waves, literally our thoughts, are a form of intense energy that can be easily detected with standard medical equipment, and they can interact with our physical world as any other form of energy would. What do I mean by interact with our physical world? Well, have you ever thought about a distant friend only to get a phone call from her minutes later? Have you ever driven down a highway wondering whether you'll get a speeding ticket, only to see flashing red lights in your rearview mirror? That's your brainwaves interacting with your physical reality. Luckily, it's possible to use your thoughts to stimulate positive outcomes too. If you've ever desired something intensely for months, only to suddenly receive it through serendipitous means, or step into a situation where it was provided to you, that was also your thoughts, intention, and desire impacting your. The world as we've created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Albert Einstein, physicist and winner of the Nobel Prize. Albert Einstein studied this phenomenon in 1935 when he experimented with quantum mechanics, the idea that energetically activating a particle on one side of the universe created an instantaneous response in a partner particle elsewhere in the universe. Columbia University professor Brian Greene explains it this way. According to quantum theory and the many experiments that bear out its predictions, quantum connection between two particles can persist even if they are on opposite sides of the universe. In other words, something that happens over here can be entwined with something that happens over there. Brian Greene's a professor of physics and mathematics at Columbia University. His book, The Fabric of the Cosmos, was the basis for a miniseries on PBS Television's NOVA program. A number of other documented experiments have also proven that thoughts can rapidly travel through space, and either be picked up by others or have an effect on matter. The book Thoughts Through Space recounts an experiment in 1937 by Arctic explorer Sir Hubert Wilkins and Harold Sherman, a student of mental powers who had long been interested in the phenomenon of mind-to-mind communication. The experiment began when a group of Russian flyers crashed on a shelf of ice on the Alaskan side of the North Pole. The Russian government commissioned Sir Hubert Wilkins to organize and lead an aerial search in the region to find and rescue them, if they were still alive. While in New York prior to his departure, Sir Hubert met Harold Sherman. Seeing an unusual opportunity to put mind-to-mind communication to a scientific test, he decided to collaborate. 6-month experiment. Thoughts Through Space by Sir Hubert Wilkins and Harold Sherman. Charlottesville, Virginia, Hampton Roads Publishing, 2004. It was agreed that Wilkins, once his expedition was underway, would, as an experiment separate from his rescue mission, transmit thought messages at prearranged times directly to Sherman in New York. Both men would keep written records of each session, and Wilkins noting his thoughts as the sender, and Sherman recording his mental impressions in his role as the receiver. Both written records were regularly given to third parties so the results couldn't be altered later. When Wilkins returned to the United States at the end of his expedition, showed his diary of thought messages sent to Sherman, an amazing 80% of Sherman's readings were accurate, proving that thought messages were successfully sent and received across 3,400 miles. A more recent experiment conducted by astronaut Edgar Mitchell during his Apollo 14 mission in 1971 established that thoughts could travel at least 250,000 miles, distance from the Earth to the Moon. While in outer space, Mitchell, who holds a doctorate degree in science, transmitted a telepathic message to 4 individuals on Earth. 3 of them received the message correctly. According to the story, one of those to whom the message was transmitted was Olaf Johnson, an engineer and psychic who was living in Chicago. At a prearranged time from inside a space capsule, Mitchell arranged a sequence of cards containing different symbols such as a cross, star, a wave, a circle, and a square. Johnson tried to picture the unknown cards from 250,000 miles away. Not only did Johnson get all the symbols correct, he also saw them in the correct order. Dozens of scientists have produced thousands of papers in the scientific literature offering sound evidence that thoughts are capable of profoundly affecting all aspects of our lives. As observers and creators, we are constantly remaking our world at every instant. Every thought we have, every judgment we hold, however unconscious, is having an effect. Lynn McTaggart, author of The Field, The Intention Experiment, and The Bond. Today, scientists have advanced to studying not just transmission of thoughts, but also bioentanglement physics, discovering how to harness these energy connections to bring desired results into our physical reality. While The Secret and the Law of Attraction have had their share of critics these past few years, I think humankind is just beginning to understand the power of thought and the theory of entanglement. Literally, that our mind is energetically entangled with the physical universe, and as such can activate the universe to deliver whatever is on our mind. The law of attraction relies on the fact that everything is in a constant state of vibration. Another fact that's widely known by scientists is that the Earth, and everything on Earth, including you, is vibrating at a specific frequency that's unique to the object or person. From the smallest atomic particle to the largest skyscraper, everything ever created is in a constant state of vibration, literally, in energetic motion. Scientists also know that the Earth's vibrational frequency can fluctuate under intense energy, not only in areas of extreme weather, but also around worldwide events such as terrorist attacks, natural disasters, and other instances of extreme human emotion. Not much of a stretch to realize that, through our own intense emotions, we too can raise, lower, and even match the vibrational frequencies of objects, situations, experiences, and people we want to attract into our existence. In fact, one of the main precepts of the law of attraction is that the level of vibrational frequency in the flow of energy is controlled by thought. Through your deliberate thoughts, you can bring yourself into vibrational harmony with and attract anything you desire. As best-selling author Lynn McTaggart writes, where attention goes, flows. Where intention goes, flows. To learn more about the power of intention, read The Intention Experiment, Using Your Thoughts to Change Your Life and the World by Lynn McTaggart, New York, Bria Books, 2008. A major focus of The Secret is how to use the power of intention, that is, deliberate thought, to manifest what you want in life. 3-step process. Ask, believe, receive. Step 1. Ask for what you want, not for what you don't want. Every day you send out requests to the universe, as well as to your subconscious mind in the form of thoughts, literally, what you think about, read about, talk about, and give your attention to. This includes the books and the magazines you read, television shows and movies you watch, the emails you answer, the websites you visit, the blogs you read, and the music you listen to. Unfortunately, much of this thought is random, contradictory, non-productive, and certainly not deliberate. It happens without our conscious awareness or intention. Even worse, we send negative requests to the universe when we criticize ourselves, complain about things, focus on the lack of abundance in our lives. Similarly, when you blame, find fault, or judge someone or something, you're also focusing on a negative experience that you don't want. The same is true when you worry. I often refer to worrying as negative goal setting. You're creating pictures in your mind of what you don't want. As the law of attraction states that you'll attract into your life whatever you give your energy, focus, and attention to, wanted or unwanted, you must become more deliberate about what you think and feel. The law of attraction also states that each thought or feeling you offer carries with it a vibrational frequency, which the universe responds by giving you more of whatever you're vibrating. It doesn't care about whether the request is good for you or not. simply responds to your vibration. Problem is that most of the time, you're not aware of the vibration you are offering. You're simply responding to things outside of yourself, current events, the news, how people treat you, stock market, how much money you make, how your children are doing in school, whether or not your team wins. You're responding by feeling positive or negative. Fortunately, when you merely respond unconsciously to what is currently happening around you, and never offering deliberate thought about what you want in your future, you can stay stuck in your current condition forever. This is why most people's lives never seem to change. They get stuck in a cycle of recreating the same reality over and over because the universe faithfully responds to the negative vibration they are sending out. Compare that with offering positive thoughts instead. Feeling excited, enthusiastic, passionate, happy, joyful, loving, appreciative, abundant, prosperous, relaxed, and peaceful. These are thoughts that give off positive vibrations. By contrast, feeling bored, anxious, worried, confused, sad, lonely, hurt, angry, resentful, guilty, disappointed, frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed out, or depressed gives off negative vibration. Law of attraction responds either way and brings you more of what you are vibrating. This is shocking to most people. But learn that the life they're living now is the result of the thoughts and vibrations they've offered in the past is revolutionary. Even more exciting is learning that to create the future of your dreams, you need only change your thoughts and vibrations from this day forward. How would you be feeling if you already had those things and lifestyle experiences you desire? Perfect job, perfect relationship, world travel, the amount of money that you want to have. Start intentionally creating your future. Become more intentional about the thoughts you offer the universe. You'll need to decide what you want, but also practice feeling those emotions you'll experience when you have it. Help you decide what you want, see Principle 3, decide what you want. Learn how to practice the emotional joy and satisfaction of having, being, and doing what you want, see Principle 12, act as if. Perhaps you want to change your career to another state, win a major professional award, have your own TV show, or recover from a major illness. How would you feel once you've arrived at your goal? What would you be doing throughout your day? Who would you be spending time with? The more you focus on and talk about what you do want instead of what you don't want, the faster you will manifest your dreams and goals. Think of your mind as a GPS system, like the one on your smartphone or in your car. With every picture you visualize, you're inputting the destination you want to get to. Every time you express a preference for something, you're expressing an intention. Table by the window, front row seats at a conference, first class tickets, a room with an ocean view, a loving relationship. These images and thoughts are all sending requests to the use words that focus the universe on what you want. Of course, how you state your goals is very important to this focusing process. Instead of saying, I want to get out of debt, keeps your mind focused on the debt you have now. Say, I am living a life of abundance and wealth. Words like these keep you in a positive state of thought. Similarly careful when you talk with other people about your current situation. Talking about the way things are and describing what's going on in your current reality actually creates more of the same in your future. Thinking about and voicing opinions about your current situation, you're actually prescribing the future rather than simply describing the present. The difference between the two was dramatically brought home to me. It was brought home to me a few years ago when Mark Victor Hansen and I flew to New York to be inducted into the Ardrath Rudale Hall of Fame in recognition for the positive impact of our Chicken Soup for the Soul books. Flight to New York, I sat next to a man who spent the entire trip talking about how terrible the world was. Government, the economy, crime, corruption, pollution, how ungrateful and out of control teenagers were, and on and on. He was an unhappy man. when Mark and I went out for a late dinner after the award ceremony, how we could talk about were all the wonderful things that were happening in our lives, our recent successes, projects we were working on, how we could help each other, who we wanted to introduce each other to, the recent insights we were having, what we were grateful for, and all the other positives in our life, of our lives. Having a positive outlook, using future thinking language, and being in a state of expectancy about the good that's coming into your life is the best way to ask the universe to deliver the very things, people, and experiences you want. Replace negative images and thoughts with positive ones. In the same way that you can write the script for your exciting future life, you can prevent the things that you don't want by keeping your mind off of them. Whenever you see things you don't want, make a conscious decision not to think about them. Write about them, talk about them, push against them, or join groups that focus on them. Whenever you catch yourself worrying or focusing on lack, quickly replace these negative thoughts with pictures, feelings, and emotions of you enjoying what you do want. This is intentional daydreaming, a great use of the power of visualization, something I discussed later in Principle 11. Whenever you slip into judging yourself or someone or something else, realize that you're focusing on what you don't want. Take action to shift your thinking. Rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s greatest speech was not titled, "I Have a Complaint." It was called, "I Have a Dream." When Mother Teresa was asked why she didn't participate in anti-war demonstrations, she said, "I will never do that, but as soon as you have a pro-peace rally, I'll be there." Great leaders knew that to be against something, to focus on your opposition to it, just creates more of it. This is why meditation, mindfulness, and paying attention are so important. You become more powerful in creating what you do want when you learn to focus your attention and monitor your thoughts. Place negative thoughts that produce feelings of resignation, hopelessness, depression, guilt, fear, and anger with more positive thoughts that produce feelings of happiness, contentment, love, acceptance, hope, peace, and joy. Ask for what you want. Then let the universe worry about how you'll get it. As I mentioned in Principle 3, decide what you want. Your only job is to focus on what you want. Don't worry about how to get it. That's the universe's job. And as we'll see, it is phenomenally good at aligning the people, situations, money, resources, and other things necessary to bring about your desired goals. Be more intentional by deciding exactly what you want. Focus your thoughts. They will attract to you the people, things, and experiences that match the content and vibration of your thoughts. Just like the GPS system I mentioned earlier, when you present your goals to the universe and its powerful technology, you'll be surprised and dazzled by what it delivers. This is where the magic and miracles truly happen. The same for Christians and other people of faith who are willing to turn their dreams, fears, and desires over to God. My thoughts are not your thoughts, says the Lord in Isaiah 55:8. Nor are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. Step 2, believe that you'll get what you want, then take action. Our intentions attract the elements and forces, the events, the situation, the circumstances, and the relationships necessary to fulfill the intended outcome. You don't need to become involved in the details. In fact, trying too hard may backfire. Let the non-local intelligence synchronize the actions of the universe to fulfill your intentions for you. Deepak Chopra, physician, speaker, and author of the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. What does it mean to believe that you'll get what you want? It means maintaining a positive expectancy, going about your day with certainty, knowing that you put your future in the hands of powers that are greater than yours. It's deciding with conviction that what you want will absolutely happen. This is not always easy. Many people have limiting beliefs which keep them from allowing abundance and happiness into their lives. This describes you. Realize that you must first change your limiting beliefs into thoughts that you are deserving, worthy, lovable, desirable, and capable, as well as smart enough, strong enough, attractive enough, rich enough, good enough, and enough in every other way that matters to you. I've written a simple strategy in Principle 33. Transcend your limiting beliefs. Help you eliminate any beliefs that are holding you back. You need to turn your inner critic into an inner coach. See Principle 32 for ways to overcome negative thoughts that can block the positive expectancy that is so critical to the law of attraction work. Of course, once you believe that you'll get what you want, the second part of the equation is to take action. Taking the actions that would create your desired result affirms your belief that what you want is within reach. It adds to your expectation. Some of the actions you'll take are what I call obvious actions, like enrolling in biochemistry and anatomy classes in college if your goal is to become a doctor, or changing your diet if your goal is to lose weight. You don't need to wait for the universe to deliver a unique set of circumstances to you. It's obvious what you must do. These opportunities are readily available to you. And they're what I call inspired actions. These are the actions you take when you receive inner guidance, an intuitive hit, a hunch, or a gut feeling. Like when you respond to a random thought such as, I don't know why, but I have this urge to call my college roommate, or I'm feeling this strong need to attend that conference. Many people during their visualization or meditation time keep paper and pencil nearby to capture these ideas. Most of the time, you won't see the whole plan. With a strong enough belief, you now move forward and take action anyway, watching for the other action steps to appear. You followed her inspiration. By thought, the thing you want to is brought to you. By action, you receive it. Wallace D. Wattles, author of The Science of Getting Rich. Jeanette Ma was 4 months into a new job as a 401k sales rep for a large national bank. Management announced that if the sales team didn't turn things around soon and create some impressive numbers fast, all of them would be out of jobs. Up until that time, they'd followed very prescribed steps for making a sale, making a certain number of cold calls each day, set up a certain number of meetings each week, and use a list of responses to potential objections. These were sales strategies that had been tried and proven many times for others, but it wasn't working for their team. Now, the team was spending too much time discussing what was going wrong, whose fault it was, and why things weren't working. After learning their jobs were on the line if they didn't produce results in a hurry, Jeanette threw out her pipeline and script sheet and decided to try something else. She remembered hearing about a journal writing technique in which if you wrote a page a day about what you wanted, if you already had it, by the time you got to the end of your book, you would have what you want. Jeanette didn't have a lot of time, so she pulled out the smallest book she could find, 2x3 notebook about 25 pages long. It took all of 2 minutes to fill her first page. She wrote about how excited prospects were to talk with her, how they loved her product and couldn't wait for her to implement it. She wrote about the instant excellent rapport she felt, how the product she offered really was the perfect solution for their company. After making her first entry, she checked in with herself about what felt good to do next. The answer was lunch. She hadn't had a real lunch since her first week on the job. Her lunch hour since then had consisted of literally running down the hall to the vending machine. Then she would run back to her desk and eat her unhealthy fare between calls to business owners. On this day, however, she followed her inner guidance and decided on a better lunch. It felt truly luxurious to actually leave the building, sit at an outside table, and enjoy her favorite Greek food on a spring day. After she enjoyed the delicious meal, she kicked her feet up on the table and threw leftover pita bread to the sparrows nearby. She was good and ready. She meandered back to the office. It was in the elevator, on the way back to her cubicle, that a stranger introduced himself to her and asked who she was. I'm Jeanette. I sell small business 401ks for the bank. He couldn't believe his ears. He insisted she follow him to his office, where he showed her a desk littered with 401k sales literature from a variety of vendors. Said he hadn't been able to make heads or tails of any of it, and had no idea her bank sold 401ks to small businesses. He shared her sales material. He was elated. Exactly what he wanted. He asked how soon she could put this in place for his company. Bit of a daze, she let him introduce her to his human resources director. He instructed his human resources director to sign whatever Jeanette needed as soon as possible. He wanted his plan in place immediately. Within 2 hours of her first entry in her journal, she was already experiencing amazing success. Her colleagues and manager were equally astounded. This never happened. Jeanette attributed the happy result to giving up the supposed to actions that management had given them and instead doing what felt good. No one to take inspired action. As the law of attraction goes to work on your goals, find that numerous ideas, strategies, and inspirations will come into your awareness. These might be the flashes of insight that come up during visualization or meditation time. Sometimes the opportunity will appear in the form of an unexpected phone call or a new acquaintance who brings you details of a lucky break. At other times, it will be an unusual monetary transaction, rebate, or other financial boost that brings you the money you need to take the first step toward your goal. Yet again, it might be merely an impulse, an inspired idea, or a strategy that briefly comes to mind that you write down. I call these inspired ideas. They're not random ideas you'd like to try or strategies you think might work. They're approaches you've never considered before that could only have come to mind because of your use of the law of attraction. Whatever appears, your task is to recognize these opportunities for what they are, then act quickly while the associated energy is in your favor. It's not enough to simply think positive thoughts. When a chance appears, you must take action. Janet Switzer wanted to sell her own book, Instant Income, shortly after the Success Principles was first released. She set the intention to land a publishing deal from a prominent New York publisher and spent days writing an elaborate book proposal, knowing with certainty that an opportunity to take action would appear. Within 2 weeks, Janet got a call from the former chairman and CEO of Time Warner Book Group, recently retired and started his own literary agency. Brennan mentioned Janet's latest project to him, and he'd called to discuss representing her. Because Janet was prepared with her book proposal, was clear about what she wanted, recognized the lucky break for what it was, took action, and quickly signed on as one of the CEO's first clients. Within weeks, Janet was in New York meeting with America's biggest publishing houses and sold her book for a major advance just a few days later. In the beginning, as you start intentionally creating your future, it may seem like these inspirations and opportunities are swift to appear and overwhelming in number. You may not trust them all, and you'll probably feel like they're seriously impacting your to-do list. How can you distinguish the truly inspired ideas, prioritize them, then accomplish all of them if you're supposed to take immediate action? How can you discern which actions are the most important and which can be left until later? One way is to use an exercise called somatic decision making, sometimes referred to as the sway test. Based on the idea that our bodies instinctively know what's right for us and can therefore help us decide by considering our different options. Start the process, stand with your feet together and your arms relaxed at your sides. Close your eyes and simply ask your body, what is a yes answer? Wait until your body automatically leans forward or backward. Then ask your body, what is a no answer? Leans in the opposite direction, you've successfully calibrated your body's answers. When you've determined which direction means yes for you, and which way means no, you can begin to test the accuracy of the calibration by asking your body some standard questions that you already know the answer to, such as, is my name Jack? Do I live in Dallas, Texas? Am I wearing a blue shirt? Once you've determined that you can trust the answers you're getting, you can begin to ask your body questions about the inspired ideas you've received. Should I bring on Jonathan as a partner in the business? Should I marry Doug? Should I buy the boat that Marcus called about today? Another way to discern between the many inspired ideas you receive is to simply see which ones keep coming up for you. When I first got the idea to form the Transformational Leadership Council, I didn't take action right away. In fact, it was months before I could take the necessary steps. But the idea kept popping into my head at odd moments, really embellished with specific ideas about who to invite as members. The organization's goals should be where we would meet for annual meetings, and I couldn't get these thoughts out of my head. Same thing happened with the chicken soup for the soul book. Got so many messages that I knew simply I had to take action on the idea. Step 3, receive what you want by becoming a vibrational match for it. Remember I said that everything on Earth vibrates at a specific frequency? In order to receive that which you are intending, you must become a vibrational match for what you want to attract into your life. You're like a radio station that is broadcasting on a specific frequency. If you want to listen to jazz, you have to tune your dial to a station that broadcasts jazz, not one that plays heavy metal. If you want more abundance and prosperity in your life, you have to tune the frequency of your thoughts and feelings to ones of abundance and prosperity. The easiest way to overcome a vibrational match is to focus on creating positive emotions of love, joy, appreciation, and gratitude throughout your day. You can also practice feeling the emotions you would be experiencing if you had already had what you wanted. Also, create these emotions through the thoughts that you think. In fact, your thoughts are creating feelings all the time. So it's important to catch yourself when your emotions turn negative, striving to replace them with what the Law of Attraction authors Esther and Jerry Hicks call a better feeling thought. The Law of Attraction, the Basics of Teaching Abraham. The Teachings of Abraham by Esther and Jerry Hicks. For example, thinking you don't have enough money to pay your mortgage will create negative feelings of fear and hopelessness, even guilt and shame for not being able to provide for your family. Instead of giving energy to these negative thoughts, shift your thinking to positive ones such as, I will find a way, or by visualizing yourself easily paying the mortgage on time. First, this process may seem foreign to you. Truth is, you can, over time, learn to choose only uplifting, inspiring, and motivational and empowering thoughts. It's simply a habit that, with intention and discipline, can be developed. Use affirmations to create a vibrational match. Another way to bring yourself into vibrational alignment with what you want is affirmations. Something I discuss in great detail in Principle 10, Release the Brakes. An affirmation is a statement of your goal or desire, now realized in present time. They are statements you can write down, then repeat regularly to bombard your subconscious mind with thoughts, images, and feelings you'll be experiencing if your goal is already complete. Affirmations sound like this. So happy and grateful that I live in a 4,000 square foot oceanfront home on Kanapalai Beach. So happy and grateful that I'm effortlessly depositing $10,000 a month into a bank account. When you use affirmations to visualize your goals as already complete, you keep yourself in that heightened state of joy that is required to maintain a vibrational match to what you want. Resentment that you don't have what you want, on the other hand, keeps you out of vibrational alignment. It's simply impossible to receive or allow what you want when you're bitter, blaming, judging, or feeling guilty. These feelings push away what you want. The only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you. Meister Eckhart, German theologian and philosopher. Create a vibrational match that appreciation through appreciation and gratitude. Two most powerful feelings for quickly manifesting your goals are appreciation and gratitude. Think about it. If you had whatever it is you're wanting, you would feel appreciation and gratitude for having received it. So not only is appreciation a great feeling to focus on, but gratitude is also a powerful mindset for attracting more of what you want. Get into the habit of appreciation by making it a daily discipline. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes a day by focusing on appreciation. Make a list in your journal of all the things you're grateful for. That's how I first started. You can also practice appreciation and gratitude through meditation. Another technique is an exercise that Esther and Jerry Hicks call the Rampage of Appreciation, where you simply look around you and gently notice something that pleases you. Hold your attention on it while you think about how wonderful, beautiful, or useful it is. It's an item you own. Appreciate the fact that it's already in your life. Continue observing it until you feel your appreciation expanding. When you do this, you're telling the universe, give me more of this, please. Eventually, choose another object to appreciate, then another, and in my longer workshops, I'll send people out of the training room on a silent rampage of appreciation with instructions to focus on all the things in the environment that are serving them. Tell them to feel appreciation, not just for the carpet, makes the room more attractive, makes the sound more pleasing, makes walking on the floor more comfortable, but also to appreciate the hotel staff who vacuumed the carpet, the people who made the carpet, people who installed the carpet, the people who made the dyes, sheep that gave up their wool, sheep farmers who sheared the sheep, and so on. People always return from this exercise with a smile on their face and joy in their heart, feeling much happier than when they left the room. You might want to take a short break from now from reading this book and do a rampage of appreciation wherever you are. Notice how it makes you feel. Key here is to develop a practice of appreciation and to begin continually looking for things to appreciate in your life. This goes for appreciating the positive aspects of all the people you meet too. As you learn to focus on what is good about them rather than what is wrong with them, you'll be amazed at how your relationship with them will change. Appreciating and being in a state of gratitude gives power to the old saying, what you think about what you'll bring about. I was on the Oprah Winfrey Show with several other teachers who appeared in the movie The Secret. There was a couple in the front row of the studio audience who shared that before watching The Secret, they had not been happy in their relationship for a very long time. The woman said that after watching the movie, she decided to focus on the positive aspects of her husband rather than all his faults and the things about him that irritated her. She also started writing him notes about what she appreciated about him, leaving them on the kitchen counter where he would find them in the morning. Some days, she would even attach a $5 bill with a note that said, I love you. This is for your first cup of coffee at Starbucks to get your day off to a good start. He said that over the course of just a few weeks, love and romance had come back into their relationship. You could tell it was true by the way they were holding hands as they were sitting snuggled next to each other, smiling like a couple of high school sweethearts. Attention to what it is only creates more of what is. In order to effect true positive change in your experience, you must disregard how things are, as well as how others are seeing you, and give more of your attention to the way you prefer things to be. Practice, you will change your point of attraction and will experience a substantial change in your life experience. Esther and Jerry Hicks, co-authors of The Law of Attraction. Practice, and you will change your point of attraction. As I said earlier, there are many principles and practices regarding implementing a conscious approach to utilizing the law of attraction throughout this book. However, if you wish to explore the law of attraction more deeply, I recommend starting with these 4 books. There's a much more extensive list and the suggested reading and additional resources section at www.thesuccessprinciples.com/resources. Jack Canfield's Key to Living the Law of Attraction by Jack Canfield. The Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Life Lessons for Mastering the Law of Attraction by Jack Canfield. If you haven't seen the movie The Secret, I highly recommend you watch it. While its documentary format is far from that of a Hollywood blockbuster, easiest way to know to get a quick and powerful view of the law of attraction. Once you discover its power, you'll want to make the law of attraction a regular part of your life. That live with everything. Okay, that was Principle 6, use the law of attraction. Principle 6. The next episode, Principle 7, unleash the power of goal setting. Please remember to support the show, like, comment, share, subscribe, donations, member show. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later today with another episode of Horizon Zero Dawn. So please for watching and thank you for any and all.